Okay. Can you hear me now? I think we're good. Ooh, that was something else, y'all. I am not tech savvy. Hi, I'm Roz, by the way. Uh, just ignore the jewelry behind me. This is when I do the Roz Loves Bling show that I will be selling this jewelry. But this is not about that. This is truth time. I want to share about my post-op RNY gastric bypass surgery. So I was having issues with my microphone. I'm so glad I tested it first because I have done long videos just spilling my guts, and I go back to listen to it and there's no sound. And I did not want that to happen to me today. So hopefully you can hear me. I think we're good. I see the little green dots going across the screen as I'm talking into the mic. Okay, I'm scared to adjust too much. I have it on kind of full blast because it seems like when I played it back, it was still kind of low, but you could hear me. So, um, so yeah, and I didn't realize it until last week. Like, wait a minute, it's my surge anniversary, 11 years. So, excuse me, my allergies. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. But I gotta admit, y'all, I'm stressed out a little bit about the sound, and then I kept pushing buttons and messing around trying to figure out what the problem was, and I clicked narrator. You probably saw that video of me irritated and looking confused because the doggone computer was narrating everything I was pushing and it wouldn't stop. And then when you press a button, you have to press it twice to get it to move. I tried to get off of YouTube. I tried to end the stream. I pushed the button, nothing happened. Pushed it again, nothing happened. It's like nothing would happen. So the thing was talking, but it sure wasn't talking to me because it wasn't listening to me when I wanted to. Anyway, after all that, child, it made me just want a cookie. And here I am talking about my post op. How would that look, me sitting up eating a cookie? That would be a bad example. But you know what? I'm going to be transparent today, y'all. I got me some cookies right here. Y'all, come on, pull up a seat. Pull up a seat. I'm not promoting unhealthy eating. I'm not promoting it, okay? I'm just saying it's freedom. I'm not beating myself up. It's good too. So, I'm in heaven. I feel better already. All right, pull up a chair, grab your notebook, your recorder, whatever you want to do. I'm about to eat some humble pie. In this case, humble cookie pie. All right, so let me share my journey, y'all. It's been a while. I think the last time I posted an update was last year. I think. So let me, where do I start? So if you if you have not had the surgery yet, watch this video. Let me share my experience, and I am not going to sugarcoat anything. but I will seal it with a cookie. So, and this is not to discourage you, it's your own personal choice. It's not the same for everybody. Some people are rather successful, some people's experience is a nightmare. A co-worker of mine passed away and she was post-op, but I'm not going to tell her business. So, and I've had actually, and then my boss who had the surgery before I did, and I was so impressed with her weight loss. And she had lost so much weight that she was able to get pregnant now, and she had a son. She already had two beautiful daughters, and then she gave birth to a son. But then that ended rather tragic. She passed away about 2 years ago. Um, yeah, she unfortunately, some people have addictions. Some people have the surgery because they have a food addiction. They can't control their appetite and their eating, and their health is suffering. You have the weight gain, and then the comorbidities that's related to being obese and overweight. And really, food it can be an addiction. Sugar, I think it's more the sugar for me because I don't overeat on hamburgers and stuff like that. Like everything I eat, I don't overeat it. I overeat on sugar. So I would call mine more of a sugar addiction. But there are some people who have a food addiction. They're just addicted to food, period. Okay. And sometimes when you have this surgery, oh, I'm tired, y'all. Since you're not able to eat like you used to, they transfer the addiction to some other addiction, either alcohol addiction or um, become a shopaholic, an alcoholic, um, become very promiscuous. So they become like a sexaholic. You find some other thing to feed your addiction, to binge on things. And because of impulse, not having impulse control for whatever reason, trying to make yourself feel better because it's like an emotional, a mental kind of thing. So anyway, I kind of got went all around that a little bit, but I had my surgery because she had partly because she had hers and it was so successful. And but I was a little confused because maybe right after she had the surgery and she had not even started losing weight. Well, her weight loss wasn't that dramatic yet. So it was very early in in her process post op. And I saw her eating cookies and candies and sweets, just talking to me about, yeah, girl, this. And I was confused. I said, I thought you can't eat that stuff after you have the surgery. So it's a lot of misinformation that can. I was kind of puzzled by that, but I was like, well, heck, I'm gonna have this surgery. If I can lose weight and look like that, effortlessly almost. So, I had it, but then I found out she passed away. She became an alcoholic. I think she had a drinking problem in the past. So it sounds like she went from being an alcoholic to being a food addict and then having the surgery and becoming an alcoholic again. So tragic. So tragic. And I had just said to myself, I'm not going to let that happen to me. But God is good. Um, I don't have, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not a I'm not a sexaholic. I'm, those kind of things, but I still have a hard time with sugar, y'all. Sugar is sweet and it just tastes so amazing. Why do they have to make it taste so good, but yet it's so unhealthy for you? Why? It's good for my mental health, make me feel good. But in a way, it's not because it messes with you. You're eating the sugar and you feel like, oh, it tastes so heavenly. But then later on, you feel like you feel bummed because you cheated, or because you're eating so much sugar that you're starting to gain weight. Excuse me. So, anywho, let me go back. So 11 years ago on March the 1st, I think it was 220 it was 2012 March the 1st. I had RNY gastric bypass surgery. Mm, um, I weighed at that time, my highest weight ever was when I was pregnant with my last child. My highest weight was 330 something pounds. Yep, that was me all day long. And I mean, I had, first of all, I had depression over it, feeling like a failure, feeling trapped inside this body that I can't have no control over, insecure, embarrassed. I had gallstones, so I had to have my gallbladder removed. I had plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis, all these type of issues with inflammation in my feet, and which was, because of the my heavy weight, my body had to carry all that weight. So it's uncomfortable at some point. It becomes uncomfortable. Your body starts complaining. Um, I had GERD, irritable bowel, all and sleep apnea. Now it was the sleep apnea that qualified me for the surgery. So luckily, I mean not luckily, but fortunately, foot is going numb. I've been sitting here so long. Fortunately, um, at my highest weight, I did not have. Sorry, y'all. I did not have diet. I was not diabetic. Not. I was not diabetic. I did not. I did not have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I had a healthy heart. Everything was good. The only thing was um, my BMI was very high and of course, putting me at risk. And the sleep apnea puts you at risk. So sorry, y'all. And then it was like, and then exercising. You need to like to lose weight. It involves not only eating, watching what you eat, and having a sustainable lifestyle change, something that you could do for the rest of your life, not some fad diet that's just there for you to lose weight. And then after you're done with the diet, with that program, and you go back to eating again, you go right back to the same habits. So, why did I say that? What was I saying? Lost my thought. So distracted by my numb foot. So, darn it. So anyway, so I did not. So I was. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So it was. So you need to incorporate exercise also. Dietary changes, something that's life sustaining changes that you can live with without feeling like you're prohibiting yourself from certain foods, because then you're going to feel like the more that you tell yourself you can't have something, you're obsessed with that, you know? And then when you give in, you feel naughty, like you did something wrong, like you're a failure, like you should be ashamed of yourself. And you start beating yourself up. And then it's hard to exercise because you're so large. It's uncomfortable to try to exercise with all that weight. But I'm sure that there are exercises that can be done, but it just made it more difficult, I would say. So on my own, I lost on my own. I had pursued gastric bypass um, way back. And when I found out that I have to lose some weight on my own to show that I'm serious or something to qualify for the surgery. And I'm like, forget that. If I could do that, I wouldn't need the surgery. I just thought it was ridiculous. So, and then I didn't like this whole thing of having to check in with the doctor to go and have your weight checked um, once a month or however often. And if you know you didn't do well, I started canceling appointments. I'm like, shoot, I'm not going up there today because I know I haven't been behaving. I've been all up in them cookies. So I'm like, oh, I ain't going today. So I would cancel. Oh, can I reschedule? And then after a while, I just stopped going because I was like, okay, this is not for me. Apparently, I got to go back to the drawing board. So I didn't end up having it back then. So then I tried, I watched Dreamgirls, and I just loved that movie. I just love how glamorous the ladies look, especially that Beyonce, and you know how beautiful they looked. And I'm like, and I was starting to read that she had to go on a lemonade diet. That Beyonce went on a lemonade diet. I don't know about the other her co-stars to lose weight for that role. And I was like, well, shoot, if it's good enough for Beyonce, it's good enough for me. So I bought the book and I started doing the lemonade diet. It's like that's all you drink is the lemonade. I think it tastes good too, actually. But so I lost some weight on that, and then I got bored with that. I get bored real easy. I got bored after a while of me sticking with that. I got bored with it, and then um, I switched gears and I decided to do um, vegan. I don't know the lingo. Basically, no meat except eggs. I still had eggs, dairy, and seafood, but the chicken, beef, pork, I was not eating any of that. So, I was going to like the natural food stores, and I was buying like these different meat substitutes. Some of them were okay, and some of them were bleh. What's up? Yeah. Uh oh. I'm just this is not process being. I'm doing my surgery update post op since it's the anniversary. The, no, oh, sorry y'all. So, dang, what was I saying, y'all? Let me think. I lost it. So anyway, that's okay. So what was I saying? Oh, okay. So I was talking about the lemonade diet. Beyonce, I said if it's good enough for Beyonce, it's good enough for me. So I did that for a while, and then after a while, I got tired of that, and I did lose some weight on that. And then I tried being vegan. I don't know. My daughter always corrects me.
Vegetarian.
Vegan, vegetarian, whatever you call it. So we were we were eating like on certain days we would go to the Subway and get the veggie delight sandwich, and I looked forward to those days. So it was just vegetables. I still ate dairy and seafood and eggs, but as far as eating chicken and beef and pork, I wasn't eating that. And we were trying these like different type of meat substitutes. For, like they had different kind of ground meats, but it wasn't made from meat. Some of those were good. Some of them were like weird, and I it was hard because my husband and some of my kids, they didn't want no parts of no vegetarian weird diet. So I'm having to cook two meals. I'm cooking one with the real meat and one without the real with the fake meat, which wasn't really meat. And so we were on that for a while, and I lost some weight like that too. But then we went down south to visit family for holidays or something, and they were just kind of making fun of us, talking about we don't eat meat. We don't. He's like, you don't eat it, no. But we gave in. At least I know I gave in. When I came back to California, I was eating meat again. So so I think I tried lemonade. I just kind of went back and forth, with just just different diets, and I ended up losing 100 pounds. I did. I lost 100 pounds, and that was all on my own. But then, and after all that work, so I had gotten down to 230 from 330, from 330 right after I had my baby. I lost the 100 pounds, so I lost the baby weight and all the extra. So I got down to 230, and it's interesting because I thought 230 looked small back then, you know, but I'm that now. So it was like, how come I don't feel small now? So, but then when I stopped being vegetarian and stopped doing lemonade diet, I realized I can't live off of just lemonade forever. So I just started eating again and going back to my old habits. And once I had that sugar, I was back like a crackhead. And I saw my weight go up. It started going up. And I'm like, oh no, we are not seeing 300 again. We're going to put a stop to this right now. So I said, okay, I'm going to go through the process again for this gastric bypass. I have to do something. I have to follow it all the way through, especially because one of my best friends had the surgery. Okay. So that's three people that I knew personally that had the surgery. Two of them died, and my friend is still alive and kicking. Um, and she stayed small for a long time. I wanted to get as small as her, and I'm like, how did she get so extra tiny? But and she still looks good. And so she's got to be, if I'm 11 years post op, she has to be about maybe 13 years post op. So so I decided to pursue the surgery, and I said I'm gonna just follow it all the way through. And if they deny me and I don't qualify, then that's it. I'm just done. I guess I have to just sit up here and get fat. But so I followed it through. The doctor said, okay, you're gonna have to lose, they want me to lose 30 pounds or 40 pounds on my own. I think it was to show that you're serious. It's like, I am serious. Who would go through this, and who would want to volunteer to go have their stomach cut in half, basically? That sounds painful. Who would volunteer for surgery in the first place unless they were desperate? But hey, I just had to suck it up. I said, oh, you want me to lose 40 pounds? Okay. So I was going in for a weigh-in once a month or once every other week. And this, it took me a long time to lose that 30 something pounds because I kept like yo-yo dieting and my weight was going, up and down with my yo-yo dieting. So some days I lose a little bit of weight when I go to the doctor, and she'd be like, "Congratulations!" I'm like, "Oh yes." And then the next time I went up a pound. You just have no idea how humiliating it is, okay, to have this problem with your weight. So I've had some horrible experiences with doctors just shaming me, but it's a sickness, and I really think that they should not do that. It's like some doctors, they are super mean to you, okay? They are mean to you. I think they're nicer than drug addicts than they are to us. But yeah, so that'll make you want to give up because you already have to deal with the shame in your whole life of walking around struggling with your weight. I mean, everybody can see if you're fat. And then have to go to the doctor, and then the doctor makes you feel beats you up, and you're already beating yourself up. So it's just a horrible. It can be very horrible, and people can be very mean, especially if they have never had to struggle with their weight. But so, and I got tired of just this whole yo-yo dieting. And the doctor's like, well, as soon as you get down to this weight, we can schedule you for your surgery. So I'm like, oh. So I finally got tired. It must have lasted about maybe 6 months, 6 months to almost a year for me to lose that 30, 40 pounds they wanted me to lose. But I was like, I've had enough. I'm sick of this. I'm going to lose this weight and they better hurry up and do me before I gain it back. So I finally got down to the weight that they wanted me to be for the surgery. And I had the RNY surgery that was recommended because I suffer from GERD, and I have this issue with esophageal spasm, esophagitis, and so other this the Ruin Y was recommended to me because the other surgeries would have made that situation worse. Anything that's pressing on my stomach here can cause me some inflammation here in my chest, and it's very uncomfortable. So I had to ruin why, and you can see my previous videos. I kind of started documenting my journey post op and pre op. So, and then after a while, I kind of dropped off because I was enjoying my skinny self. I got dropped down to so I think so. My surgery weight on surgery day, I was around maybe two. I had got down to maybe 250. I want to say like 250 or something like that. And so they scheduled me for surgery, and my lowest weight was like 165. Yes, 165. I had not been that small since high school. Okay. My husband had never seen me that small. So um, it was like at first, like when I was losing a lot of weight, I started getting nervous because I'm like, how long is this going to keep going? Because I'm starting to not like the way I'm looking in the face. I'm used to my plump, round face. But, um, but I remember like I would go shopping for new clothes because I couldn't wear all my fat girl clothes. And I would be in the dressing room with my mouth open, like, I can't believe I can fit this. I got down to like a 12, 14. Can't believe it. So I threw all my big girl clothes away and I just kept the biggest pants that I had the day that I went, the first day I went to see the gastric bypass doctor. I kept those pants so I could, when I dropped all my weight, those would be a reminder of where I came from. So it was amazing. And so I was successful. It took a while. It didn't, I hit a lot of plateaus. And so I went through depression and different things like that. Like wondering, what did I do to myself? I did all this for nothing and I'm not losing weight. But eventually, next thing I know, at first it seemed like it was kind of slow. Like actually, after I had the surgery and then I went home to recover, the first time I went back to go to the doctor to get weighed, I gained weight. And I'm like, how in the world did I gain weight? And the when you right after you have the surgery, you're pretty much on like a liquid kind of soft diet. And it's like I'm not eating anything. How I was so discouraged. I was like, oh, don't make me say it. So I'm like, okay, this scale has to be wrong. It was a lot of fluid. It was just a lot of retaining fluid, I think, because they pump you up with these IVs and stuff like that. So the next time I saw the doctor again, my weight had dropped a lot. And then it stalled for a while. And I'm like, we keep going, keep going. And so I had to get through those times because your body does what it's going to do. So what I started doing is trying to add new things. Like I started walking. So I would just walk for maybe do 30-minute walks, and that kind of boosted up my metabolism. So I started losing again. Next thing I know, it seemed like I don't even know where the time went. All of a sudden, I was 160. So, and it seemed like it flew by, and that was within the first year. So, and then then actually right after I had the surgery, I didn't have no appetite. Like food didn't look the same to me. I'm like, am I? And then I was worried. I was like, am I ever going to enjoy food again? I had no desire to eat at all for a long time. No desire. So it was a chore. I had to make myself eat. And you have to go through diet stages because your stomach is still healing. So you go through like the soft diet stage, and it's a while before you can eat solid food. And so but then it seemed like after a little over a year, it seemed like my stomach woke up. All of a sudden I started craving stuff. So I know one thing that really got me was I could not, the water hurt my stomach. It still does. I drink it filtered. I had to start forcing myself now to drink water, just pure water. But other people in our support group, they were saying that, oh, I just add a little crystal light in my water or something like that. And it helps you, to be able to drink it. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's what I started doing. But those little crystal lights and those little, things you put in your water, they're sweet. They have some kind of sugar in them. And that opened the eyes of the monster again. I should have never done that. I should have never done that. Because after almost a year of not even having a desire to eat food, and I had not been really eating sweets or sugar at all, if I had just kept going like that, who knows where I would be right now? I'd probably still be small. But it started my body, I mean, I started craving that sweetness. And so I wouldn't recommend putting those little sugary drinks in your water. You just have to do the best you can to try to sip on that water. You got to find another way. That's all I can say. And it may not be everybody's issue. It was mine. The water hurt. And to this day, I'm always dehydrated because it's still hard for me to get all my water in. Um, so because I can't like just gulp it all down like I used to. You can only hold so much water in your stomach pouch. So I try to like keep this water bottle and I try to fill it up and to try to see how much I'm drinking. But sometimes I think I'm drinking a lot of water and this thing is still full of water. Like, but now, like, I think that all the water I had today, this thing is still, the water's like right here. So I've drank that about this much for the whole day. Really, I really, I probably should be drinking two of these, okay? And I haven't finished this one, and the day is almost over. So, and sometimes I might like get a Gatorade or something to substitute if I feel weak to replace the nutrients. This has zero sugar. I mean, so it says. I'm not advertising it, but I'm just saying. So, um, yeah, so when I started putting those little sugar pouches in my drinks, that led to me, next thing I know, I'm eating candy. Then I'm eating cookies. And I'm like, I was under the impression that after you have this surgery, you physically cannot eat those foods anymore, or you're going to automatically have the dumping, which means pretty much diarrhea. But I don't know about everybody else, but I was able to eat that stuff. But even my body at certain foods will cause me to have the dumping syndrome. Like I used to love Cold Stone's ice cream. I can't really eat it anymore. I can't eat it anymore. So that was easy for me to give up because of that unpleasant, you know, situation. And then I also have these episodes. I think it's like, is it like a hyperglycemic type thing? I might not be calling it the right medical term, but it's something where if I have something that's super sugary, like let's say I have a Starbucks drink, um, as long as I don't drink it all the way down to the bottom where all the syrup probably falls, I normally can get away with drinking it a medium, but and but I didn't know that at first, so I was drinking it all the way down to the bottom. And certain foods like cereal and Cold Stone ice cream for sure. Certain foods, even dressing, and I love dressing on Thanksgiving. But if I eat too much of that dressing, I'll have the dumping effect. And also now it's and also I started having these things where I call it a sugar buzz. That's something that I didn't have before. I gave it that title myself because I literally feel like I'm high. Like I don't have no control over my body and my actions. I'm confused, I'm acting weird. Um I'm completely vulnerable. I'm kind of out of my mind basically. And that normally happens maybe half an hour or so after I've had something that's too sweet. I'll have this unpleasant sugar buzz. And then I'll have this intense craving. I was like, oh, I'm so hungry after. Probably because my insulin dropped so low, that I have to pick myself back up with some protein. So, and over the years, that happened to me a couple of times. Once I realized what was causing it, I could kind of control it some and just be careful. But then I started having episodes that were even more severe than than those first ones. I actually have video footage of myself, um, wide awake, talking, doing things, and I do not remember it. Literally, it's like I blacked out, and like my body just had a mind of its own. I mean, my kids were there. They're telling me I stood up and went and got a knife and tried to cut some pie. And and then they said I was shaking and I was sweating. Terrified me. I thought I was having a stroke or something. The way the doctor thought I had a mini stroke or something, but I didn't. I didn't have a stroke after they did all the tests and the CT scan and everything. But and doctor did say that it's not good for me to keep letting that happen. It's not good. I don't know what the consequences are because they didn't tell me, but they said it's not good to let that keep happening. So I just have to be careful about what I eat, especially if it's really, really sweet. Maybe I can only have a little bit of it. Or the one thing for sure is to eat your protein first. Or don't ever have some sugar and you not having some protein. In fact, on your Thanksgiving plate, you need to eat the meat first. And sometimes the meat will fill you up and you know, may not be able to eat the rest of it. Most times it take me all day to finish one plate because I have to keep going back to it, keep going back to it. But I'm not saying that everybody will experience that. That's just been my experience with it. So, I started putting the weight back on once I opened up the sugar bug, and I was hooked again. I was back on sugar. And so then my weight was kind of up and down. I go to the gym, try to work it out. I was like, I gotta work this out. And then, and then it would stabilize my weight. So I was like, okay, well, as long as I exercise, I can eat whatever I want. But then when I couldn't exercise sometimes because of whatever reasons, either I'm injured or I just don't have the time, um, but I'm still eating the same way. My weight just started creeping up, and it finally got to the point where I said that I'm not even gonna look at the scale no more. Long as my clothes still fit, longer. And I said to myself, I refuse to buy more clothes. If I gain weight, I'm gonna have to squeeze in these clothes and make myself lose the weight to fit into them. That didn't last long. Eventually, it got to where I, I was like, I can't walk around with my stomach sticking out and looking all crazy. So next thing I know, I went up a size. So I went from a size 14 to the next size was 16. So basically, I've gone up 2 sizes. I went from 14 to 18 right now. Right now, I'm at my heaviest that I've been since I had the surgery. So, and that's a lot. I've been under a lot of stress. The pandemic couldn't help, of course. And then I'm dealing with a lot of things in my personal life. Um, and so you turn to food and unhealthy eating and sugar and sweets for comfort. Okay. And so now And every year I set a goal, like by my birthday, I want to be all the way back down to this. Well, so far I haven't made it yet. So this is a new year, a new opportunity for me. And instead of focusing on, dieting so much, I just try to eat healthier, try to avoid eating fast food all the time or like TV dinners, processed type foods. I try to avoid that. I try to make my coffee at home most of the time. And I had started going back to the gym, but I'm not consistent because my schedule is not consistent, or I'm always having some health issue that's preventing me from going to the gym. If it's not that, it's a car situation, or I have COVID. So I caught COVID twice, and it felt like I was gonna die. So so it's always something. It's always something. So I'm just telling you the truth. I am not going to sit here and say, "Oh my Lord, it was so easy. I dropped all my weight and it miraculously just dropped off and I was just perfectly fit and gorgeous and I never had to diet again. Didn't never have to worry about food because everything I eat, I don't even absorb all of it." That ain't the truth. That is not the truth. If that was the truth, I wouldn't be 230 now. Okay, don't tell nobody. So yeah, but I'm like, well, one thing I beat myself up about that sometimes because I'm like, when I first lost the weight, people say, "Oh my God, you look so good. Oh, look at you. Oh," and I liked all the attention, but then you start gaining and start gaining the weight a little more. Then you want to go in your corner and hide, or you look forward to the winter time where you can put on a big coat, you know. But I try to find something good about the situation. At least I never did go back up to 330, that's for sure. I'm happy about that. And I have not gained back all of my weight. I've gained back a lot of it, but I didn't gain back all of it. If I was to go past the weight I was on surgery day, that would be so depressing. I can't let myself get there. I absolutely will not let myself get there. So that's why, even though sometimes you're like, forget it, I'm not going to get on the scale. I don't even want to know. It's good to know where you're at. So I did ended up buying a scale. And even though the scale was not moving, I would lose the same 5, 10 pounds over and over again. I lose 10 so sometimes I'm like maybe 10 pounds down, and then sometimes I'm 10 pounds up. So sometimes my face looks boo on here, and sometimes it looks smaller, you know. But but I'm determined that I'm not gonna go past. I'm not going back. That would feel like I went through all of that for nothing, all the surgery and the recovery, you know. It would feel like I did all that in vain. So I'm still down. I'm up, but I'm down. So but I don't I'm still determined to keep trying. And sometimes I fall off and I go off of it for a while, then I have to reset myself and be psyched up to start over again, with trying to make healthier choices and get into that gym and try to exercise somehow. And even if I can't get to the gym, I can exercise in my living room, you know, anything to get my body moving. So so I'm still fighting for that. I'm still fighting for that. So but as far as the surgery, I was under the impression that the surgery would take care of everything. Like I'll never have to diet again. I only have a small, I'm not digesting all of my food. My stomach is, my intestines and everything have been rerouted, and my stomach is smaller, and I'm thinking that, hey, I couldn't gain weight if I wanted to. That's not true. I thought that, oh, I'll never have to worry about trying to lose weight. It'll just be effortlessly, you know. The surgery is the tool that's going to do it. Well, guess what? It's just like before. You still have to, if you eat the wrong foods, you're going to gain weight, whether you done had gastric bypass or not. If you eat too much of the wrong thing, you're going to gain weight. So when they talked about that honeymoon phase being over, they were not kidding about that. Because that first year I was on cloud nine. It's like, oh, I'm just dropping weight just effortlessly. Then after a year, you on your own. After about a year, guess what? You're able to eat more. I can Before I couldn't even eat a whole burger. Now I can eat a whole burger. Sometimes it's weird. Sometimes I can, and sometimes I can't. But I was able to fit more into my little pouch. So I'm thinking, oh no, my pouch is stretched out. I need to go back to the doctor and have them tighten it some more. And I begged my doctor. I go into the doctor and say, I don't know what's going on. I'm gaining weight and I can eat more. Can you just go back in and tighten it up and reset me back to where I was when I was losing weight? You know what they said? Nope. They said nope. They said that we're going to refer you to a nutritionist. It's like I've already gone to um the classes, the support group classes, talked to the nutritionist. I've met with the nutritionist so many times, and it's like she didn't tell me nothing that I didn't already know. I could be a nutritionist. That's not the problem. It's not the problem me not knowing what to eat. I know what to eat. The problem is having the willpower. That's the problem. And it seemed like after I lost the weight and then I started gaining the weight back, and I'm trying to prevent myself from failing and gaining it all back. So I try to um I'm asking the doctor for intervention because I don't want to go back to where I was. But it's almost like they abandon you. They don't want to help you no more. They refuse to take you in to go back and tighten your pouch. They did some tests on me, X-rays and different things, and they said that my pouch is 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 functioning properly. That it's just me. It's what I'm eating. And I'm like, I don't have no control. And then I said, well, can you prescribe me an appetite suppressant? Nope. They won't do any of that. And half the time you can't even see. I thought that I was going to be meeting with my doctor for the rest of my life. So in person, I have not seen no bariatric doctor in years. They don't follow up with you in person so you can sit down and express your concerns and stuff like that. They don't. At least not none of my doctors do. All they do is every year they tell you to go to the lab and get your labs done, and they'll let you know if you have vitamin deficiencies or something, and that's about it. Other than that, you don't get to see. Only thing they'll help you with is You see the nutritionist, and the nutritionist look at you like you're the worst person in the world, and make you feel ashamed. And they're like, it's almost like they think that them giving you tough love is what you need. No, I need compassion. That's what I need. Okay, I need somebody who understands, who's not going to shame me, so I won't feel like I don't have nowhere to go. If they would make people feel welcome and listen to their you know their cries for help, and have some compassion, and be there, to be supportive. I mean, that's what we need. But now you can't even go see the doctor. You can't even make an appointment. And then when I changed insurances, when I changed my medical insurance, and I tried to get connected with the bariatric doctors, I'm not going to say, they once they realized that I didn't have my surgery at one of their hospitals, they were kind of like hands off. I'm like, okay, I didn't expect this. So I have not seen a doctor. All I see is my own primary doctor, and go get my labs every year. And if I have any concerns about my stomach or whatever, the most that a bariatric doctor will do is send me to get some labs done and an x-ray, so they can see if my pouch is functioning, or if it's something wrong with it, if it's leaking or whatever, you know. And then you pretty much get a phone call. Everything looks fine. You just got to stop eating. I was like, if I could stop eating, I wouldn't have had the surgery in the first place. So it does not fix that. I'm just letting you know. This is not a magic. This is not like a magic pill. I'm trying to think of the right thing I want to say. It is not. It's you still gonna have to work for it. You're gonna have to work to maintain it. So I would urge you. You can't even depend on the doctors for help, because they shame you. And the nutritionist too. And one of the nutritionists, she had the she had, I think she had some type of surgery. I don't think she had the gastric bypass. She had the other one. Can't think of it. But anyway, and she gained weight, and then she went from that to having the switching to the gastric bypass. Okay. But it's like, you should understand. So I said, oh, good, a nutritionist that can relate to us. So I thought she could. I don't know where she at. She probably somewhere fat now. Hiding. It's like, I know you ain't gonna sit up here and try to be a hypocrite and tell me no, you don't need to eat this. You need to eat that. You need to eat this. No, don't eat that. You need to eat this. I know what I need to eat and what I don't need to eat. That's not the problem. The problem is how do I make myself do that? That's the problem. Okay. Because it's like an addiction, a sugar addiction. Like it's almost like every single day I have to have some sugar. I wake up. Well, it's not the first thing I think of when I wake up. To tell you the truth, I really don't get hungry most of the time. My stomach have not growled since I had the surgery. My stomach don't growl to let me know I'm hungry anymore. I'll just start having ulcer-like pain, like my stomach is eating itself, and that tells me what I need to eat. But the only thing I do crave though is sugar. Every single day I'm craving sugar. I gotta have something sweet. So, and as you could see how I started the video, I started out chewing on my cookie. Yep, I sure did. They'd be like, no, she didn't. Oh, yes, she did. I'm being honest. Shoot, why? I'm going to hide them? No, I'm being real. Look, I'm telling you, okay? I'm not trying to discourage people from having the surgery. I just wish somebody had told me all of this before I had mine, okay? There was nobody on there that I was doing my research. I was looking at videos and people made it seem like it was just so easy and stuff, you know? And then they said, oh, I started gaining weight, but I did the pouch reset. And I said, oh, good. I'm relieved that they'll reset your pouch. No, that's not what you think it is. That means that you go back to eating a certain way. I'm like, that's it? Okay. But I don't know. Um, and I, and I feel like my pouch stretched. I do feel like it's stretched because I can eat more food. I can eat more in one sitting. So I don't know. But I know insurance don't want to pay. It's hard to get insurance to fix your darn tooth. They rather pull your tooth, okay? So they sure not gonna take me back in there. They said you had a chance. Now go sit your fat back down somewhere and eat some salad. Anyway, they don't want to pay for no insurance. I mean, the insurance don't want to pay for you to go back in. You have to pay for that out of your own pocket or something. And then I hear that it's kind of dangerous to go back in for them to try to retighten stuff. So I don't know. And another thing, I end up having to be on acid reflux medicine for the rest of my life. And I have to take it twice a day. That's a problem I didn't have before. Now I'm like, and I have to have prescription strength and acids. So you best believe I start getting nervous if I run out and I have to wait for a refill and it takes the doctor a while to even respond to the pharmacy. And I'm like, look, my stomach is burning over here. Okay. I need a refill right away. And I have had ulcers. I've had stomach ulcers. Those are painful. I had never had stomach ulcers before. So, I consider these complications of the surgery is is the my acid reflux got worse than it was before. It's worse to the point of now I get ulcers now. So, um, but I take my medicine, and I have always been good about taking my vitamins. Some people don't even take their vitamins. I take my vitamins religiously twice a day. It's just a part of my routine. I take my vitamins because I know I have to take them for the rest of my life. Since I don't absorb all my nutrients, I have to supplement them with vitamins. Otherwise, it affects your hair and your skin. Your hair start falling out, stuff like that. So make sure you take your vitamins, okay? But then another thing is that, okay, I thought vitamins meant go in the store, look, see which one is the best deal, and you buy them. I didn't know, like, the first couple of years I was taking the wrong vitamins. It's a wonder I didn't pass out or something. So yeah, the doctor, and I did find that out from I think it was the nutritionist or whatever. Yeah, because she was asking me, okay, what do you eat every day? Do you take your vitamins? What kind of vitamins do you take? And she said that those are not the right vitamins. You need to take these vitamins because if you notice, the other vitamins do not have such and such and such and such. I say, oh, really? So now I take the correct vitamins. So, and so far, every year when I get my labs done, they look good. It's probably about time for me to get my labs done anyway, again. But that's every year. But doctors are pretty much hands off. They kind of abandon you after the first year post op. It's like you can't even get an appointment. Like they look at you, why? What do you want now? What do you want? Well, I think my pouch is bigger. Okay, we'll go get an X-ray. Okay, they said your pouch is fine. I was like, well, I think I need, you know, to have it tightened. I can't stop eating. Uh, Meet with the nutritionist. Then the nutritionist is mean, and she's like mean, you know. And I'm trying to tell her that I can't, you know, this is hard, and this and that. And I guess some people think tough love is going to motivate you. They didn't motivate me. It just made me feel like I don't have nobody to turn to that's going to hear me out, you know? I already know. Don't eat this, don't eat that. I already know. But how do I tell my brain that? How do I make my what I know and what my body wants be in sync? You know? That's like somebody trying to give up cigarettes. It is hard as heck. All right? Especially because like cigarettes is something you can live without. But food, you have to eat. You have to eat food, okay? And there's always going to be birthday parties and holidays, and you're gonna run into cookies and sweets everywhere you go. You know, I can even tell myself, okay, that's it. I'm gonna wean myself off of sweets. But then I start thinking, oh shoot, so and so's birthday is next week. I know I'm going to eat some cake. Okay, I'll wait. It's like it's somebody's birthday just about every month. And so I'm always having to eat some birthday cake somewhere. You know, if it's not that, then it's Christmas and it's holidays. And it's like on Thanksgiving, I'm going to eat. I'm eating some sweet potato pie. I'm eating it. Shoot. So anyway, so I just wanted to share what my experience has been like. The suggestion I have is for you is don't give up. Don't give up. I'm not giving up. You know, it seems like I'm starting a new program that I'm, you know, a new goals every month. And then when I don't make it, when I don't fulfill it and get where I want to be, then next month I start a whole new plan. I start another plan. But I always try to have it in my mind to try to be doing something, even make an effort, you know. And I think now one thing about the surgery that is a plus, that as much junk food and stuff that I eat, if I hadn't had the surgery by now, I probably would be over 300 pounds. But because of the surgery, it you kind of gain weight slower, you know. It take a lot for you to start gaining weight, you know. So like for the whole, pretty much for the whole year, you know, I kind of stabilized at a certain weight. And I may go up 3 pounds, I go down 3 pounds, I go up 3 pounds, I go down 3 pounds. But it doesn't mean that I can't go up 20. You know, it just take a long time to get there because I don't absorb all my, you know, the food that I eat. So, but I think one thing for sure that would have helped me is if I had continued to religiously exercise. And that could have helped burn some of the calories that I've been eating. And actually, when I start exercising, you know, on a regular basis, and most time I can get in maybe a workout 3 days a week when I'm back on. And when I do that, it seems like my body starts dropping some weight because I'm burning some of those excess calories. You know, the pouch is helping me basically. It is helping me because part of the food I don't absorb the calories, and then part of the food I'm burning the calories. So exercising is almost the most more important than what you eat. But I know that's not exactly true. I mean, you have to watch your diet also, but I would say If you can get in a workout every day, do it. Don't worry about what the scales say. Get in that gym, okay? Get in, keep consistent in that gym, and that will help you a lot, okay? So, and that's the first thing I go to now. I don't go to, it's okay, I'm going to measure my food and I'm going to, I might do that for a couple of days. Oh, let me see, let me catch my calories. Oh, after a while, it get hard because you start forgetting what you ate. And like, wait a minute, what did I eat? And I'm not always walking around with no pen and paper talking about, okay, I ate this today and I, you know. So, and there's apps and, you know, I think the most important thing, if you're not that disciplined, which I'm not, if the if you can get in some exercise, that will help you a lot. That will help you a lot. So and then even at my weight, I can do things that I couldn't do before. So I feel like I'm still healthier, a lot healthier than I was before. But now I just need to get some new goals because my it's a new year. My birthday will be coming up in a couple of months, um and the summer is coming. The summertime is coming, and it's gonna be too hot to be all up in a jacket. You're gonna have to take that thing off, okay? So and the good thing too, in summertime the days are longer, so you have more daylight hours. In the wintertime, a lot of people tend to, kind of go off their diet because pretty much everybody's in jackets and sweaters, and the days are shorter, so you have less time and you have less daylight hours to be able to even go out and go to the park or go walking and stuff. So, and then that's kind of the time where you start thinking about the holidays and the the desserts and stuff like that. So, but in summertime, I naturally just start kind of dropping a little bit of weight. That's what I've observed. So I'm always heavier in the winter months, and then in the summer, spring months, I start kind of naturally kind of drifting down a little bit. But I still have not gotten down to where I was, and you have to set realistic goals. Like I can't expect to be all the way down and below the weight that I was, my lowest weight in by the summer. That's just unrealistic. Okay. So you have to just take baby steps. So those were some things that I wanted to let you know about. Okay, which that's my experience. Now, I've heard of some people having horrific experiences, like having to wear diapers for the rest of their life. I'm like, whoa, if I had heard your story, I probably would have never had the surgery. So, and this was an educated woman, and she seemed very um, intense, but I mean, you'd probably be intense too if you went from being fat to now you got to be wearing diapers. You'd rather be fat than have to be wearing diapers. So, and I forget what her whole situation was, but some people have different complications, so everybody don't have the same ones. So, so my suggestion, if you can help it, do not eat, do not put it in your mouth, sugar, anything sweet. Don't, if you've been going a whole year without it and you're not craving it, and don't start putting those sugary drinks in your water. Okay, you just gonna have to suck it up and drink that water if you gotta just sip on it a little bit at a time. Because eventually I was like, you know what, I am getting, when I saw my weight gain, I stopped buying those little putting those sugary things in my water. And I had to train my body to be able to handle real regular water. Now, certain waters in the water bottles in the store, their pH balance is more gentle on your stomach. So, but I can't, I got tired of buying water bottles all the time. So I just got a filter, and I can tolerate filtered water. Um, and even if, you can have it as tea and sip on it gradually. So, so if it's something that you used to love before you got the surgery, that was a trigger for you, don't put that in your mouth. You're just like a crackhead. You can't smoke crack one day and then go back to not being a crackhead. Once you open that door up again, you done opened up a can of worms. So and exercise. Prioritize getting some exercise in your life. And also, I learned one thing too um about weight loss. And what I learned is that for a woman, your waist, you should measure you should do your measurements of like your waist. And they said a woman should not be over 35 inches. Above that, then you're getting into an unhealthy range. And so you can't always go by the scale, because if you start exercising and stuff, or you hit a plateau and the scale is not moving, but yet that does not mean that you're not losing inches. So, and actually, the scale may not move, or it might move up, because you're gaining muscle. If you're exercising, you're gaining muscle, and muscle weighs more than fat. So, but muscle is what makes your body look toned and everything, because the muscle will kind of um push the fat to the side and becomes muscular. And so I would rely more on your measurements, your waist measurements. And then I read that for every 8 pounds you lose 1 inch on your waistline. So most people can lose 2 pounds a week. So if you lose 2 pounds a week, then you should lose an inch off your waistline every month. Okay. So, and that's some information that I just learned like this month, just doing my research. So, so I took my measurements, and so now I set goals that way versus just relying on the scale, because the scale is not always accurate. You can weigh on your scale at home, but then you go to the doctor's office and their scale will tell you that you weigh a different weight. You're either less or more. So because I think the measurements would be a little bit more accurate if you're measuring your waist, because um, those numbers don't change. Everybody's measuring tape is going to be the same. It's not like a scale, if that makes sense. So that's something I learned. So just for your FYI. So yeah, so don't try to avoid those trigger foods. Don't even, it's like Adam and Eve. The Lord said, do not eat that apple or you're going to die. And she gave in and bit into that apple. And there it went. Now sin has been born into the world. So ever since I bit and started having that sugar, ta-da, Got a piece right here. Had a cookie today. Let me see. What did I have sweet? I know I had something sweet yesterday too. It's a matter of what. I can't remember. But I have something sweet every day. What time is it? Oh Lord, it's not after 9 o'clock. I have something sweet every day of the week. Something sweet every day of the week. It could be little, or it could be big. But I have something sweet every day of the week. So, but I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world as long as you don't binge on it. It's like, look, if your mind is obsessing about a cookie, you do better just get the doggone cookie. Okay? But the thing about it is, it's not good to be eating a cookie, then another cookie, then another cookie, then another cookie, and then think about the time that you're eating it, because your metabolism slows down the later it gets in the evening, because your body is getting ready. Everything kind of slows down because your body is starting to get ready for you to go to sleep, and that's when it's like your body is recharging itself and stuff like that. So your digestion has to slow down at night. So um and then, of course, make sure you're getting some exercise, some kind of exercise. Do not give that up. That will make all the difference in the world. Okay. And keep in mind, the doctors are all nice to you at first, but after that year, they'd be like, "Who are you? Can I get an appointment?" Well, first you have to talk to the nutritionist. Like, huh? Nutritionist? I don't want to talk to her. I want to talk to you. I want you to fix it. Get you cut it and tie it up again. Can you retie it? They are not going to do that, y'all. They are not going to do that. Only in rare circumstances, if it's something that's not your fault, it's something that happened to your pouch that's not supposed to happen, and it didn't have anything to do with you, then they may do a surgical intervention, or you may have to. I've heard of people switching from one surgery to another surgery, but I'm sure those are people who have money too. But so I just want you to have a clear understanding. I'm not telling you not to get the surgery. I don't regret getting the surgery, even with the complications with the heartburn and stuff like that, and those sugar buzzes that I get. I don't regret having the surgery. It was worth it because I have not seen 300 pounds in over 11 years. I have not gotten there. And I'm so happy. I consider that a victory. Okay. Just right there. So if I could just lose at least 30 or 40 pounds by my birthday to get me below that 200 mark again, I would be so happy. Okay. And I think about 30 or 40 pounds is a whole lot better than me needing to lose 100 pounds. Because back when I was real large, my goal seems so far away when I'm thinking, dang, I gotta lose 130 pounds to get down to a healthy weight. It take forever just to lose 2 pounds. Can you imagine knowing that you got 130 pounds to lose? It seemed almost impossible. You're talking about a whole year or two to do that. So I'm grateful that I only have about maybe 30 or 40 pounds I need to lose to get below, the unhealthy. Right now I'm in that unhealthy range because I put on that extra weight. So 30 or 40 pounds by my birthday in October. I think that is totally doable if I would just stick to it and get to exercising and you know. So if you would like to, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, any suggestions for me, anything new that maybe I don't know about, go ahead and comment in the comment section. Also, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever. Just keep it respectful. That's all I have to say. Keep it respectful. And do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and set up your notifications so whenever I come on here, you'll know about it and you'll have a chance to be able to see what I'm talking about, what I'm rambling about today. Sometimes I do my jewelry show, sometimes I just ramble, and this is a whole separate piece here where I talk about diet and weight loss and weight loss surgery. Okay, so all right, I guess that's it for now. I didn't talk for a whole hour, almost an hour and a half. That's the update. I'm still here. I'm still alive, and I'm still trying to lose. So hey, maybe I will check back in October, and we'll see if I was able to get that 30 pounds down. Okay, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Okay. Talk to you later. God bless you. Bye bye.